My name is Roy Tuvey. I'm the founder and CEO of Vertice. What Vertice does is help SaaS businesses and other companies save money on all of their software expenditure and all of their cloud spend. So, as the title suggests, 3 times founder, I've been doing this entrepreneurial gig for quite a while now. The eagle-eyed amongst you will see that advert was printed in 2000. So it's been over 23 years or so since I've been a founder of a company. There was a time when I had hair. And the story is that we built 2 enduring businesses. Each took about a decade. ScanSafe was a company that pioneered web security in the cloud. We protected employees at businesses from viruses and malware. We built that business up to have several thousand customers globally. The second business was Wandera. We were running that for the last decade. We pioneered mobile security. So we help enterprises protect their employees when they're on their phones, getting phished and getting malware. And each of those companies sold to US public companies. So what did we learn over this period? A few things. It was quite funny. I saw a tweet about 3 months ago, and it said first-time founders care about product market fit. Second-time founders care about scale and distribution. And third-time founders care about customer retention. And it's very, very true. It's really challenging to build an incredible SaaS company if you have a leaky bucket, if your customers are not staying with you and you're not retaining them. Our first customer that we ever sold in ScanSafe was Eurostar. I remember going there to Waterloo. We didn't know very much about anything, but we talked to them about what we were building. They were super excited. They bought into our vision. They became our customer. And what's amazing is that over the course of the next decade, every single year, they renewed with us, stuck with us, and were an amazing advocate. Always remember that the customer is number one. The other thing is when you're building a scale-up, you have lots and lots of different things that you can build in your product roadmap. Every 2 minutes, a customer asks you for something, someone says something, let's build this. And it's really, really important to hear from your customers what they want. Sometimes it's not a good idea to listen to the salespeople telling you what their customers want. So the biggest mistake we made at Wandera is we had a sales guy who in Europe, he said, listen, forget iPhones, they're really expensive. All of these big companies I'm talking to are buying tens of thousands of Windows mobiles. And we're like, no, that just can't be true. He said, no, and they're going to order loads, and I've got a pipeline of $10 million as soon as we just release Windows Mobile. And we were obviously complete idiots, and we built Windows Mobile, and nobody bought it. And it's not only that we didn't make the money from selling Windows Mobile support, but all the money we could have got and all the opportunity cost from building something for what we all realized was like the right platform. So be careful what you build. Sometimes what you don't build is more important than what you do build. Back in the day, GE, I'm sure you all know GE, but it was like the absolute lighthouse customer for any enterprise software company. They had 300,000 employees globally. They were the gold standard. If you sold GE, it meant you went through the most rigorous process, you were vouched for, and other companies would flow through the door. And so we actually won the global RFP for GE, and we were really excited. It was a disaster. So GE just kept pushing us around every minute with some new feature request that was only specific to GE and really didn't benefit all of our other customers on our SaaS platform. And we then had a mantra, whatever we build, it's got to be for the many, not the few, and think about the bigger picture. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this tall chap. He's the BFG, big friendly giant. We had a BFG in each of the companies that we established, and that was a big effing goal. It was really important to get everybody around one mission, something that you wanted to achieve. In our first company, we said we wanted to support and process and scan 1 billion web requests every single day, and we managed to achieve it. In our current company, Vertice, we want to bring fairness and transparency to all of software. And these are big goals, but you need to have big goals that your entire company rallies behind. Know your team. So this is like, I don't know that you've ever heard anyone ever say that it's not important to know the people that you work with. But I can tell you that it's very easy when you scale to stop meeting or interviewing new candidates, stop talking to junior people in the company. Every day somebody new enters the door, particularly when you're in growth mode. And I think it's a mistake. We make a big effort to try and talk to and meet as many different individuals in our company as possible, so they understand the culture, they understand that they're visible to us, that we care about what it is that they're doing, and that we really engender this kind of culture of being a family and doing it together. So it is difficult, and over time there's no doubt that that gets diluted, but it's definitely worth making the effort to maintain it as much as possible. Don't be a boiling frog. So I think some of the things we did very well is recognize this, and you need to be brave. You might have a vision of what you're going to do, and the reality, doesn't match. So in our business, our last company, Wandera, we actually launched it for consumers, and we established very quickly that they don't care. They don't really care about protecting their mobile phone from threats. It wasn't really visible. And we didn't let ourselves boil. We're like, this is not working. We have to adapt. And we transitioned that business to helping enterprise customers protect their employees. And we established that they very much do care. And so it's a difficult thing, particularly if you've rallied your whole company around something that you're looking to solve from a pain point, to be brave and say, hey, this isn't working. But I think it's really important to keep iterating until you're sure you've established product market fit. I don't know how much of this you can control, but I definitely know that it's true. So our first company was super successful, but very early. And in fact, a company that copied us a couple of months before we sold our business to Cisco is now worth about $20 billion. It's a company called Zscaler. So we were a bit early. They hit the timing exactly right. And I know that timing is everything, because our current business helps companies save money. And the timing's right, because everybody out there is looking to introduce efficiency into their business. And it's so nice when you have tailwinds that are helping you, and you're not facing headwinds, you're not having to educate a market too early, but you're not arriving too late when it's very difficult to capture market share. So I'm not sure what immediately springs to mind when you see this image. My guess is that it was Elon Musk letting go 3/4 of the people at Twitter, but that's not actually what it is. The first thing that he did actually was renegotiate the Twitter Salesforce contract, and he cut it by 75%. And you're like, why would he do that? And the reason is because it was really expensive, and SaaS is very expensive. And there was an article couple months ago that Coinbase spends $65 million a year just on their Datadog license. 65 million on one vendor. And it accumulates and it increases. And what we've established, speaking to lots of businesses out there, that on average they have more than 100 of these different SaaS tools. Now everybody in this audience maybe is selling one of these tools. And we all know that they're an incredible productivity driver for businesses. They're amazing. But as a customer and a consumer of these things, as a business, it all piles up. And you end up in a situation where you're managing lots and lots of different tools, and it's costing you a lot of money. The reality is it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. The challenge that businesses have when they're buying software is that there's not a lot of fairness and there's not a lot of transparency. SaaS vendors typically hide their pricing. When they do publish it, it's pretty meaningless because they're willing to discount very aggressively. And the price that different companies achieve fluctuates wildly. And so it's a really interesting thing that while it is very expensive, it doesn't have to be. You can make it cheaper without sacrificing productivity. And that's why we introduced our current business, Vertice. We're in the market to help businesses save money on SaaS and cloud. And I talked a little bit about fairness and transparency being our motivation. And we talk a lot to our customers and to the industry about leveling the playing field. So if you're negotiating, let's say, with HubSpot, your renewal or your first purchase, the other person that you're dealing with, the sales rep, has maybe negotiated with 100 customers in the last month. They do this every single day, but you're doing it once a year. There's an asymmetry in information and asymmetry in expertise, frankly. So our mission at Vertice was to level the playing field, to get experts on your side that are negotiating on your behalf, that similarly negotiate hundreds of times with HubSpot or DocuSign or whoever it may be at Atlassian, and try and bring fairness and transparency to the cloud industry. Now, I was allocated 15 minutes, but I made an executive decision that we're at lunch, so I'm finishing it early, and enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.